Texas Country Live. My name is Rod Binion. We will showcase the best of the local singer-songwriters, giving them the opportunity to bring their original music straight to you, the viewer. I will be asking them questions so you can learn personal information about your favorite local artist. 59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177. McCrary's Auto Repair, LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCrary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCrary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Texas Country Live. My name's Rod Binion. I am your host today, and I'm with my good buddy, my good friend, my pal, singer-songwriter extraordinaire, Mr. Lloyd Ramby, also known as Dr. Bubba. What's up, my friend?
How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing fantastic.
Cool, man. I appreciate you driving all the way up from, Crystal Beach, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a long haul from here, brother.
It is, but it's worth it.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I'm happy to see you, man. It's been quite a while since we hung out. We hadn't really played guitar. Very, very little how we got together and played guitar. But I've been meaning to come see you just because you have a boat.
Right.
A man's got to have his priorities, right? That ain't right, is it?
Sometimes we got to quit talking and start doing.
Right, exactly. I heard that. Well, you ready to kick this thing off?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, we're going to start out with what I call warm-ups. Just kind of get some blood flowing and kind of get you in the groove here. Okay, let's start out. Blake Shelton or Luke Bryan?
Blake.
Loretta Lynn or Dolly Parton?
I got to go with Dolly.
Dolly? Yeah, man. Winona or Reba?
Winona.
Lady Antebellum or Little Big Town?
Little Big Town.
Yeah? Okay. George Strait or The Hag?
The Hag.
Hank Jr. or Hank Sr.?
Junior.
Junior. Carrie Underwood or Kelly Clarkson?
Woo. Carrie.
Pink or Avril Lavigne?
Oh, Avril.
Avril. I love Avril, man.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. I dig that chick, man. Okay, let's see here. Gwen Stefani or Luke Perry? Katy Perry. I'm sorry.
Oh, Gwen.
All right, and then finally, Luke Combs or Jason Aldean?
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs. All right, man. You did good, Bo. You ready to roll? That segment, warm-ups, is sponsored by McCrary Auto in Huffman, Texas. My good buddy, Cecil McCrary. He's out on Trent Road, and he's the most honest guy I know. And so y'all get an opportunity, you need an auto repair, please. Y'all look old Cecil up. I promise you, he will take care of you. Mention the show, either my name or Texas Country Live, and he will give you a discount because he's a good man. You know Cecil, right?
I do.
He was the original guitar player in the Rod Binion band.
Oh.
So he and I have been friends for a long time. I know him personally, and he is good to the bone. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You ready to kick it off?
Sure. Yeah.
All right then. Where were you born at, Bubba?
Houston, Texas.
Houston.
Yep.
And when did you move to Huffman? You remember?
It was around to move there permanently was like 74.
Oh, in 74.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved there like in 64 when I was just a baby.
Wow.
Yeah, we lived there a long time, man. I love Huffman. It's cool. That's my home. Even though I don't live there anymore, it's still my home, man.
Yeah.
When I drive across that lake and I smell the mayflies and that muddy water, there's something about that. The pine tree, the wind in the pine trees and the scent of those pines, mixed with that lake water, man. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel like I'm at home. It's just a sense of comfort.
Once you cross that bridge, you just drop right back into the 1980s.
It really is, man. It's funny how it's a lot different now than it was when we were kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Bubba and I kind of grew up together. I mean, he's a couple, maybe 1 or 2 years older than me. But we won't go there. But man, his brother and I were in the same class, and LaDonna, your sister, she was in my sister's class, and they were good friends. So our family's kind of, everybody knows LaDonna.
She passed.
She passed away. That's right.
Did.
Rest in peace, girl. I always loved her, man. She was so sweet to me, and also, in love with her, man, because she was so much older than me, and she was so good looking when we were, And so when we were kids, man, I just, she went to the Deer Lease with us a couple times, hanging out with my sister.
With Becky.
Yeah, right. And man, I just was so in love with LaDonna, man. She was so cool.
Yeah, she's
Rest in peace, girl. But anyway, yeah, right. That's cool. And okay, so
you play guitar. Okay, we get
I
that. You play anything else? Any
Nope.
other? No, no. And when was it you wrote your first song?
I was about 22 probably.
Yeah, you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was a song called Stop and Go.
Stop and Go.
Yeah, it was recorded. Actually, my first one got recorded.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Um,
That's luck right there, bud.
I know. Steve Lynn, that was his recording name. His name was Steve Pittman. He recorded it, and he was living in Florida at the time.
Yeah.
And he was making a demo copy of it for me, and he was playing it, and the people paying for the record said, "Hey, let's put that on the record." So my first one somehow got recorded.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then he entered it in a original song contest. When 93Q, I think it was 93Q, was a power station out of Beaumont.
Wow.
And won the contest. And so for the next week, my song played in rotation with George Strait,
Wow,
and Clint
man.
Black, and Garth.
That's
and
pretty
all
cool,
that.
man.
It was like really cool.
That, that's big time.
And that's when you never turn your radio off, man. You let it run 24/7.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm down to hear you play, bud. Why don't you go ahead? Do you mind doing a couple now? Maybe a couple originals right now?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and kick one off?
All right.
I think everybody wants to hear it. Y'all listen up. Bubba Ramby from Huffman, Texas, right here. Dr. Bubba Ramby. A doctor of chiropractic is what he is. And from what I understand, he is a magnificent, all my friends tell me what a great chiropractor you are.
Oh, thanks.
And so, you know, man, you need an adjustment. He's a guy to look up. Anyway, what you going to do?
I'm going to do a look.
A look.
A look.
Here you go, ladies and gentlemen, right here, Mr. Bubba Ramby with A Look.
Well, I saw you. You look at me. And I saw you smile. There was a look that I hadn't seen such a long while. When I smile backwards, seems like that's all it took. You know, I think we fell in love. Only that very first look.
Right on, man.
You know, I remember thinking that I could tell you now that I love you, oh yeah. And I could whisper those 3 words even though it's way too soon. And I could help you to love and to live again. Is this we're searching and are longing finally in? Oh, I see friends I know fall in love in oh so many ways, like picnics on Sundays or going out on dates. But sometimes, and just sometimes, like you read in a fairy tale book, someone falls in love, and it's with only a look. Oh, baby, this feeling you got me feeling I've never felt before. And this smile you got me smiling just makes my heart beg for more. Well, so could it be that our search for a soulmate is through? 'Cause this look you got me looking, it's only for you. I see friends I know fall in love in oh so many ways, like picnics on Sundays or going out on dates. But sometimes, and just sometimes, like you read in a fairy tale book, someone falls in love, and it's with only a look.
Right on, buddy. That was awesome, man. You know, we had an audience here today. They'd be clapping right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, man, I usually do it out on the porch, and sometimes we have people out here. We've done it at the American Legion Hall and with an audience, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, the weather just not permitting today for us to be outside. It is so freaking humid out there, man. I would much rather be outside, but unfortunately, it's a sauna out there. Even though it's only about 80 degrees, it's nasty, man.
Yeah.
Even I was out there taking the flag down after I made the decision, you know, sweating my mind off, man.
Yeah, you just got to chew your air up real good before you swallow.
Yeah, right. Ain't that the truth? Well, you got another one you want to do?
Yeah.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, tear it up, man. What
Hey,
you got?
know what? I'm gonna do the song that I wrote. I wrote this song over 20 years ago. For our wedding,
Right on.
and then we didn't get married for like 24 years.
Wow, that's a cool story, though.
Yeah. And,
Angela, your wife, she's a sweet gal, man. I like
Yeah.
her a lot.
And so what we did was we decided we were going to do this song, and so I did the intro and the first couple of verses while
Right.
everybody's coming down the aisles, right?
Right,
So
right.
y'all try to picture this as I'm playing it, or go to Facebook and you can see it.
I'll see the video.
And then when we timed it so that right when the chorus started, her and my son got up to the mark where they're supposed to come down the aisle.
Right.
And so, unbeknownst to everybody else, she was singing the chorus. You know, they didn't know that she was going to do it, right?
Right.
And so she come down the aisle singing the chorus, and then whenever she got up there, then I did the last verse, and we did the final chorus together, and
Right,
it was
right.
so cool.
I bet. Sounds like
yeah. Everybody that was at our wedding, I think almost every one of them came up to us at some point and said, by far the coolest.
You know, that's
wedding
got to
we've
warm
ever
your heart too, man.
I know, it really did. It
There's
really
nothing
did.
like you know, validation from your peers
Yeah.
on stuff that you've written that makes you feel like $1 million bucks, man.
Yeah, and all the people that were like, "You wrote that?" Like,
You know, I've heard that before too myself.
Yeah,
You know, they go, "You wrote that for her?" Yeah, unfortunately, yes, I did.
guilty.
All right, well, what's the song called now?
It's called "I Still Will."
I Still Will. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
I still will.
right here, you got it. Texas Country Live, Mr. Bubba Ramby with I Still Will.
Well, here you are. You're standing next to me. All my dreams are coming true. The look and the love in your eyes tell me it's forever for you too. And the one thing that I can promise, what's the most precious thing that I own? 'Cause it's my love. And for you, it's eternal. Well, you've made my heart your home. Till the ocean is a desert, and the desert floods with rain. Until the angels in heaven come down and bring us home again. And until the sun turns to ice and the rivers all run still, that's how long I love you. Today I do, and tomorrow I still will.
I don't know.
Now the preacher's about to ask me if I'll take you for my wife, and to love and to honor and to cherish you for all the days of my life. And the words I speak when I answer, well, they could never be so true. 'Cause from this day on till the end of time, oh yes sir, I do. Till the ocean is a desert and when the desert's all flooded with rain. And to the angels in heaven, they come down and bring us home again. And until the sun turns to ice and the rivers all run still, that's how long I love you. Today I do, and tomorrow I still will.
Right on, man.
Today I do, and I promise you that tomorrow I still will.
Very cool, man. Heck yeah, Lloyd. Hey, man, right on, dude. I love that. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Well, you ready to take a little break? Get us something to drink? And okay, guys, we're going to take a little break here, and I want to mention 59 Hangout out in Porter, Texas on 59, just south of 1314 on the Peter Road. Cool place to hang out, man. They call it 59 Hangout because that's where you go to hang out. Cold beer, fantastic service there. Fallon, bartender there, she will absolutely take care of you. Mention Texas Country Live, get your first drink half off, I think is what they do. But go out there and frequent that place, man. They got darts, pool, anything and everything you want, they got that place, man. So y'all check them out, 59 Hangout. This is Texas Country Live. I'm here with my featured artist, Mr. Bubba Ramby. My name's Rod Binion, and I'm thrilled to death to be here today, and I want to thank y'all very much for tuning in. We'll be right back.
59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177.
Hello, everybody. We're back. I'm here with my good friend, singer-songwriter extraordinaire, Mr. Bubba Ramby. And we're having a good time way out here in the Piney Woods, Cleveland, Texas. Got the sugar dog over there on the couch sleeping. She will be joining us later, but she had a rough night last night, so she's had a pretty girl needs to get her rest. So anyway, well, you know what? Are you ready to get right back into these questions here?
Fire away.
All right, let's see. Well, you know, who's your favorite artist? Do you have a favorite artist?
Right now, it's probably Aaron Lewis.
Aaron Lewis.
Or Cody Johnson.
And Cody Johnson. I love Cody Johnson. Well, you know, Aaron Lewis is cool.
Yeah, no.
Formerly of what? Stain? Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Ben Danaher. You know the Danahers.
Yep.
Ben had been touring with him for quite a while.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know if he still is or not. But Ben Danaher is doing great in Nashville, y'all. If y'all don't know Ben, he's a good dude. And he's a fantastic songwriter, and he's a great performer. He does that finger picking style, and he's fantastic, man. I enjoy his music, and he's a helping boy.
You know, we have probably 4 of his songs that we keep on our playlist.
Yeah.
And I probably hear at least 2 or 3 of his songs every day.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I love Ben. I got a chance to play with him at a little deal that when he was in town one time. They were raising some money, and he came out to help, and it was really cool, man. I was honored to sit in with him. You know, it was right on, man. But I love Ben.
Good talent from Huffman, Texas.
Right. You know, it's crazy how many talented people there are in Huffman, Texas. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, singer-songwriters are, you know, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but they're a dime a dozen. I'm one myself. But good singer-songwriters, you know, that's the trick. People that can touch your heart. You know, they're very rare. And but you got it though. You know
that song I just played, I Still Will.
Yeah.
Ben's dad,
Bob,
recorded that
about
6 or 7, 8 years ago before he passed.
Before he passed, yeah.
Yeah, and
Bob was a great guy, man.
Yeah.
I remember him coming up to the school and playing. You know, when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
He was a great man.
And you know what? Not only that, but he was a mentor for a lot of people. The talent.
You're absolutely correct.
You know, even if you ask Alan Shamblin, you know, who was one of his real influences in his early life, it was Bob Danaher. Yeah.
Well, you know, for you guys who don't know, you must be living on Mars, but Alan Shamblin is one of the greatest songwriters on the planet. I don't know how many number one hits he's had, but you can't count them on 4 hands. He's had a bunch. And for everybody, and you know, and his they cross over into different genres.
Yeah.
You know, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And he writes children's books, you know. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have started writing songs if it were not for Alan Shamblin, because I'm thinking to myself, you know, he's a Huffman boy. You know, his brother Stacy was 1 year younger than me, but I hit the first home run I ever hit was off of his brother Stacy. In Little League, I think we were in what do they call? I don't know, minor league. I guess it wasn't. We weren't big boys. We were still little boys, but yeah, man. I mean, I've known the family for a long time. His mother worked at the school. She was a teacher, and Kim, she was in my sister's grade, and she was a cheerleader, beautiful girl.
Yeah, she was.
But man, I thought, well, if Alan can do it, I can do it. Well, little did I know how wrong I was. I mean, I can write songs, but being successful, that is a trick,
Yeah,
but he's something else, man.
There's the being successful is just taking it a step above,
Right.
And your determination, that's Alan told me a long time ago. I don't know, over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was longer than that. Because I was in undergrad at the time. Yeah, and he said, man, if you'll come to Nashville and move up here for a little bit, and I'll take you around and I'll introduce you to some of the people that I'm working with, and if your stuff's good enough, you might get a deal going.
Right.
But I was like, man, how am I going to do that? I got midterms next week.
Right. Make a choice. Yeah, that's funny.
So now, I did the school, I finished that, and then I did my career for 25 years, and so now I'm like kind of semi-retired-ish.
Right.
And so I have the time to spend on my music now.
Right. I got it. Well, man, I love Alan's stuff, man. I mean, you talk about, he has a unique ability of making the most out of every word that he writes, Mm-hmm. And when I went to Nashville, I was able to actually talk to him on the telephone, talk to him, but he had already became gigantic by then. And so, there were issues, if we discussed songs, that if he wrote a song, he was concerned, well, he wasn't concerned about me, but he said he normally doesn't talk to people because it could cause him problems in the future.
Right.
But he knew me, and so he did talk to me about, now I ran a couple songs by him, and he listened to them, and he just nothing but encouragement. Steered me in the right direction, told me to keep on working, And I really appreciated that conversation I had with him. He took the time for an old friend.
I guarantee you, I've dissected just about every song he's written.
Right.
Even songs that y'all don't hear on the radio.
Right.
We had a function where Alan came. I think he came to Toby May's house.
Right. I remember that. They invited me to that, but I was so sick, man. I just couldn't. I couldn't. I felt so bad. Bug was mad at me because I didn't show up. I was like, Bug, I'm sorry, man.
It was really cool, and I had contracted an artist to paint create a picture based on one of Alan's songs. You can find it on. I don't know if you can find it on YouTube, but I know it's like on iTunes and maybe Spotify. But it was something better than I used to be.
Yeah.
And she painted this, and he's talking about, in his mind, he should be in the Hall of Fame,
Right.
And so talking about his baseball, Little League, and then high school baseball. And so I had her paint this picture where it says, Hall of Fame on it, and then it's got his jersey with his number. I think his number was 3, but don't quote me on that. That's been like 10 years ago probably. And then a glove and a baseball bat at the bottom on one side, and a guitar on the other. And it's just really cool. And he was like really proud of it. He said he was gonna hang it in his new studio, but I don't know if that got done or not. So, Alan, if you see this, don't. I didn't say you did that.
Well, honestly, when you're a public figure like Alan is, I contacted him in advance and told him that, through Bug Avery, because Bug and Bug has his cell phone number. So I said, Bug, man, would you do me a favor and let him know that, Bubba's coming on the show and we're going to talk about him. And I just want to make sure he's cool with that, because there are some people who are somewhat introverted and they don't want to be in the public eye. Yeah. And so anyway, Bug called him up. He says, "Heck yeah, man, I ain't worried about that one bit. You tell them to have a good time. They won't say whatever they want, But that's the kind of guy he is. Alan's a good guy.
No,
he has never forgotten about his hometown. Yeah, that's what I think is really cool about him. Yeah. Even though I think he lives in Franklin now, Tennessee, or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere outside of Nashville, I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it's Franklin, but I don't know, man. I'm just guessing, but yeah, man, Alan is a good guy. We're very fortunate to be from the same hometown, and I'm so proud of him. Song of the Year, House That Built Me.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites
song
is
in Huffman.
Don't Laugh at Me is one of my favorites, Mark Will.
Absolutely.
And He Walked on Water, Randy Travis. Oh my God.
I think Don't Laugh at Me is the most awesome. That should be like song of the century.
Right.
You know, because
That
the
song,
message,
man, it's so good. You know.
Yeah. And it really makes you think. You know, that guy that's on the street corner with that sign. You know.
Right.
And not just that, but even you see people with disabilities or anything else, and it makes you really be more compassionate.
It does. That's that line. Don't think I don't notice our eyes never meet. That is just the first time I heard it, I got chill bump just now, just saying it.
And
man, it punched me in the stomach, man.
As a songwriter, you're sitting down there and you're coming up with lines for your song, and that's what separates Alan from a lot of other songwriters, because that is deep.
Right, it is deep.
He went really deep with.
And he has that ability, man. You know, I mean, it's just like unlike anyone I've ever seen. Like I said, he makes the most out of every word he writes, man. He doesn't just put a word in because it rhymes.
Right.
He puts a word in because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it means something.
Right, and it adds to the story.
Exactly. It follows the story. I don't know. He's just an incredible songwriter. Well, okay, let's see this. Let's get back to the questions here. Well, do you have a favorite original song that you've written?
Yeah, my favorite original song is probably The Ghost.
The Ghost?
I
love that song, by the way.
The story behind
The
Ghost, and then and that song kind of put Angela and I back together. The backstory, we were together for like 19 years, and then we were split up for a couple of years, and the song The Ghost put us back together, and since then I think it's put together a couple of other people too as well. So I think it was like really cool.
Well, who had, as far as artists go, who was the most influential artist, in relation to what you do now? You have somebody that really influenced you that you wanted to be like, or that made you write like you write, or do what you do?
I don't know. I know, Alan was a big influence.
Yeah, and myself as well.
And Bob.
And Bob too. Well, Mike Wilson was on. I'm sorry. Yeah. He was on a couple weeks ago, and Bob taught him how to play. I had no idea. I known Bob and Mike, damn near my whole life, and I had no idea that Bob had taught Mike how to play guitar.
Yeah, and I knew Mike, God, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And he and I didn't put it together until we were sitting there watching him one night, and I was like, man, I know this dude.
Right.
And then when he went on break, we were sitting there talking. I'm like, man, I know you. And he's like, yeah, I think I used to come over to your house, maybe with Billy Wright or somebody.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Wright's pretty good himself.
Oh, yeah.
He's not bad at all.
Yeah, there was a time, man, Billy Wright had it by the horns, and I don't know, he let it slip away, but maybe
it happens.
Maybe he's getting it back. I don't
know.
I
hope he does. I haven't either, but I can totally relate to that, because there was a time when I, had my act together, but man, after my accident, it just kind of slipped away, and it's just not the same. And I have 1,000,001 reasons why I don't really play that much anymore. None of which make any sense to most people, but all of which are really figments of my imagination, and they aren't the way. The reality of it is, perception versus reality. The way I perceive it, like when I walk in a bar, people look at me like I'm, crazy because the way I walk. Yet, my friends say, man, nobody even notices the way you walk when you walk in a bar. And I'm like, right. That might be the case, but I don't feel that way.
Somebody might look over and notice it, and then that's the last they think about it.
Right. And, man, I don't know why it bothers me so. And that's not the only reason, man. I have to play sitting down, and I hate that. I lost at least a third of my range because I'm a big guy. Always been a big guy. I'll die a big guy, and I'm cool with that. But sitting down, it just cuts off my diaphragm, and I can't hit that top third of my range. I can't do it anymore. I always used to know I had a good show when the next day I'd have cramps in my my calves
Think
from getting up
about
on
it
my
like
tiptoes.
this, though. You got a great range with what you have. You've got like 3 times the range that I have.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
With what you have now. Oh, no, I've heard you sing.
yeah. Oh, I appreciate that.
So you've got 3 times the range of the average person with what you've got left.
Right.
So I wouldn't let that. And you know, the one thing I've always told people about a guitar is no matter what's going on in our life and how busy
Right.
we get, and you know, like with me, you know, we got this busy practice going, and it was just like
Sure.
hustle bustle and all kinds of stresses and everything. But my guitar would sit there on that stand, and it'd be like, I'm still here. No rush, but you
Right.
get a minute, you know, come over here and
Right.
let's hang out a little bit. And you're like, not today, not today,
Right.
not today.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, you know, you reconnect. And
Sure.
you pick right up where you left off.
Right, right. Well, you know, I hope someday I can reconnect, but, you know, I say this all the time. You know, I was born a goofy fat guy, and I'll die a goofy fat guy, and I'm cool with that, you know. But when I used to get up in front of that microphone, it was this crazy sense of power. And then as I started getting better and getting more recognition, it was like validation that I was really, you know, a singer, really an entertainer, which is something that never really ever crossed my mind when I was young. You know, I wanted to be a football player, you know, and you know, because it hit me so late in life. Because man, it was like 2000 before I really started singing publicly, and well, maybe even later than that, probably 2002 or 2003. I used to play with Gary Jones in a band he had called Crazy Train, and with Buddy Goolsby. You remember Buddy?
Yeah.
He was on keyboards, and you know, that was really the first time that I got out there and started playing gigs, and it was really cool, man. And you know, I just learned from there. I used to tell people, you know, I'm not getting better. I'm just learning to cover my mistakes better, and that's really the truth. But you know, man, I miss that so much. You know, it's a crazy sense of power, and yeah, I remember one particular show. It was at Hoot County Line, I think was what it's called, and it was in Humble at the time. Right where, you know, the bypass goes over the railroad tracks.
Right, yeah, I know where
it was. Right down there. Well, they were having a
was it golf range?
it was an anniversary party they were having, and they had, that was when the new Camaro style was first released, and they had one they were giving away. And so, unfortunately, we double booked that day, and I'm at Old Houston Nice House in Porter on 1314, and I get a phone call from Cash, and he's like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "I'm in Old Houston." "Well, y'all supposed to be here," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." He goes, "Yeah, you are." You know, I booked it with Alan, you know, who was the drummer at the time, and he never told me. And so, man, I said, "Look, Cash," because there was nobody at Old Houston. Everybody was at Hoot County, and so I said, "Look, man, I'm on my way," and then we were supposed to go on at 9, and I got there like at 9, and anyway, I had a buddy meet me there with a PA, a small one, so I could start on my own as my band is tearing down, and then transporting over to the gazebo out in front of Hoot County. And so, man, I get up there, and I'm up in the gazebo, and my microphone was down on the ground, and that boom was all the way up to my, and that boom was like, it seemed like a mile long. And that place was freaking packed because they were giving away that Camaro, right? And 93Q was there, and I forget, I think Channel 11 was there. And so, man, I look out there at that point, what looked like a sea of people because it was dark, but man, all you could see was barely just the outlines of people as far as I could see, you know, through my peripheral vision. And man, you know, I don't get stage fright, but man, at that moment, I walked up to that microphone, looking down that mic beam or boom, and I said, "So, you want to be a country singer, huh? Let's see what you got, hot shot." And you know, man, it was
let's do or die.
It was right. You know, it was either you know perform or get kicked out. You know, and fortunately, I did Country Folk Can Survive, which I do relatively well as far as I'm concerned, and they loved it, man. And so I kicked it off, and man, we were supposed to start at 9, and we ended up the whole band playing by 9:30. So it ended up working out, you know.
Yeah, and
but
that's typical, right? You know,
well, yeah.
Start at 9, start 9:30.
Well, you know, not for me, man. That was one of the things. You know, I'm a man of my word, and if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I do it. And you know, if we're supposed to start at 9, we started at 9, even if I had to start by myself, you know.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that particular time, we got double booked, and I had no idea that we were supposed to be there. You know. So, well, let's say this. You know, I know what kind of man you are because you know we're old friends. But like, who are you? What kind of person are you? What's important to you?
Well, God and family.
God and family.
You know?
Sure.
I think that as long as we keep God first, everything works out.
Right.
You know, and So I don't know. I guess my best quality, as far as I'm concerned, my best quality is my faith.
Right.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, you know, life would be so insane without God. You know, I know God is a big part of my life, and I wish I were more like Him. You know, my father is a deacon at church, or was until we moved, and you know, he's as good as they come. He's a hard-working Christian man. He doesn't cuss. He doesn't drink. You know, he's everything that a good Christian man should be. And you know, when we left Hempstead and moved here to Cleveland last year, Pine Island Baptist Church had a going away party for my dad. And let me tell you, man, 5, maybe 6 or 7 different people came up to me and said, "Your dad saved my life," or "Your dad changed my life," or "Your dad was there when I," you know. And I mean, how many?
Amen.
I mean, you know, how often can you truly make the difference in somebody's life? You know.
Yeah.
And there were so many people, different people that came up and told me that he was. And man, it just made me feel so good. I mean, I love my dad. I always have. I've respected him immensely from day one, and I still do to this day.
Yeah,
But it was really
He's
cool,
awesome.
man, that those people came up and said that about my dad, and I was like, you know, I already know he's badass, but you know,
Yeah.
it was cool to hear it from other people.
You have great parents.
Yeah, I did. My mom was super sweet.
She was.
The rest of her soul, she's been gone, I think, 5, 6 years now. I miss her. You know, we were really close, but you know, man, that's life. That's the way it works. You know. But speaking of family, anybody in your family play music?
No, not really. I don't really. I think really. I mean, now my kids do.
Do you? Oh, so how many kids you got? Well, tell me about your kids.
Okay, so I have one biological child,
Right.
but I have more kids than that. You know.
Sure, I understand.
I raised my son's mother had 3 when we got married, and so I raised 2 of them, and one of them on and off.
Right.
He was back and forth with his dad's, and then Angela and I got together, and I raised her 2 kids.
Right on. Well, you know.
And you know, I mean, they're so much like my own.
Right. Well, I was going to say, you know, biology has nothing to do with
That's
love.
right.
You know,
That's
it
right.
really doesn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with love.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, when I'm hanging out, my biological son's name is Josh, and
Right.
and my stepson's name is Corey. And when I'm hanging out with Josh and Corey, they're just my boys. You know.
Right.
They're like I never treated one better than the other. They were always equals growing up, and because of that, they're close.
Right.
They're really close.
Right.
You know.
Right on. Well, who in your family has given you the most support?
That would be Angela.
Angela, right?
But my kids have too, though.
Sure.
You know, Corey. I mean, if Corey's at our house or we're at his house, you know, he'll go find his guitar, or he'll go find my guitar, and he'll like be walking out there handing it to me. You know,
Right.
He's like, you know, he really is supportive of my music.
Sure. And you know, you spoke to me about Hayden Nicholas.
Yeah.
Clint
yeah.
Black's lead guitar player and co-writer of most of his hit songs. Tell me about
Amazing.
Yeah, tell me about Hayden,
Amazing.
man. I want to hear something about him. Tell me about him.
Man, so a good friend of mine got me hooked up with Hayden, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you're an aspiring songwriter, or if you are a songwriter that wants to improve your skills,
Sure.
contact Hayden. Go to haydennicholas.com, and you can Google him first, you know, to get the correct spelling
Right.
or whatever.
I'm a Google guy myself.
Yeah. He was Clint Black's lead. He is Clint
right.
Black's lead guitarist and co-writer of almost every Clint Black song that there is.
Sure.
And he worked with me for 6 months, and you know, he helped me polish some of my older songs, and he changed my form of writing
Right.
a little bit in the process,
Right.
to where whenever I'm trying to paint this picture now,
Right.
I'm paying way more attention to the brush strokes.
Sure.
You know,
I understand.
I'm not just slopping paint on there now. You know, I'm making sure each brushstroke counts, because like you have said before, every line counts.
It does.
You've only got
Very short, very few words to say what you need to say.
yeah, and to tell this whole story beginning to end,
Right.
So you got an intro and an outro,
Right.
and in the middle of that, there's a story that can't be left unfinished.
Sure. Well, you think about it. You have a couple of verses, and then you have the chorus, which you repeat, and so it's the
Right.
same words.
Right.
And so really, you only have a couple verses to
Yeah,
paint the
you're right.
picture, and then fill in all the colors. In other words, set the storyline, and say what makes a story important, and then get back out of it and go back into the chorus and then in the song. If you think about it, you have very, very limited time or very, very limited words to do what you need to do, and so that's what makes it an art form.
Yeah.
And some people are better than others at it.
They were playing at what's the big casino? Oh, Golden Nugget
Oh yeah,
in Lake Charles.
in Lake Charles.
And he got us backstage passes and good seats for the
Right.
for the concert. And then after the concert was over, he invited us to come up to his suite.
Sure.
And I mean, I never seen a suite with a pool table in it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
This is how the other half.
A whale suite.
Yeah. And
That's cool.
Some of his buddies from high school were up there,
Right.
and they all play, right?
Right.
And Kevin Wright was there as well.
Yeah, I played with Kevin before.
And so we passed the guitar around, and it was just a really great time.
Right, that's cool, man.
Kevin is actually been working with Hayden for over a year, I know, on his guitar skills, and I mean, Hayden has taken Kevin to places.
Really, I'd love to see Kevin again.
A guitar teacher couldn't have taken.
I met Kevin one night at a Jones jam, and we just kind of hit it off, and we started playing together. And I think there's even a video of me doing a Willie Nelson song with Yogi Bear playing fiddle,
Yeah.
and Kevin's there playing guitar with us, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Somebody took a video of it and put it on YouTube.
Kevin's a great guy. He's a good friend too. He actually DJ'd my wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
Right
he
on,
did.
man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, okay, you heard it from the horse's mouth right there. Hayden Nicholas, songwriter, coach,
Yeah.
basically
yeah.
is what he does.
Yeah, and if you do contact him, doesn't mean he can take you right then.
Right. I'm sure he's pretty busy.
I mean, yeah, because they have I think at that time they were doing 80 tours,
Mhm.
and so a lot of our sessions he was in a different hotel room, and we'd
Right.
have to do it Zoom or
Right,
whatever.
right.
But to be a different background every night,
That's the life.
but when he releases
When his
another
schedule permits, right.
person, then maybe he can take a
Right.
new one.
Well, you heard it right there, HaydenNicholas.com, right?
Yeah.
And so you said he coached you on songs, right?
He did. He coached me. He helped me polish a bunch of my songs.
Yeah.
And then he did. He had me write a few songs too, and coached me with
Right on.
them.
Well, do you have one you want to do?
I do. Yeah,
Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
I'll do
We're
one.
going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
Get a drink. I see the Sugar Dog is up and about, so we'll probably get her over here. We're Texas Country Live. My name is Rod Binion, and this is singer-songwriter extraordinaire, Dr. Lloyd Ramby, a.k.a. Bubba. And we'll be right back. Thank you all for joining us.
McCreary's Auto Repair, LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCreary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCreary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference. 59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177.
Okay, everybody, we are back. Texas Country Live. I'm your host, Rod Binion, here with my buddy, Bubba Ramby. We were talking about Hayden Nicholas, HaydenNicholas.com for songwriting coaching.
Oh yeah.
And he helped Bubba quite a bit. And so Bubba has a couple songs here that he wants to do. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna do Tropical Decompression. This song, Hayden said, "Hey, you write a lot of slow songs, so I want you to write an up-tempo song,
Sure.
and why don't you have it ready by Tuesday?
Right.
And then if it's any good, then we'll work on it and we'll refine it and polish it and and maybe try to make it marketable."
Right.
And so this is the song I came up with, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's do that."
Right on. Okay. Right here, guys. You heard it from Mr. Bubba Randy himself. Tropical Depression.
Decompression.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tropical Decompression. Right here on Texas Country Live.
I was sitting in traffic, moving a half a mile an hour after a week's worth of meetings where most went sour, and the fool in front of me can't put his phone down and just drive. I just can't take it for even one more day. Oh, baby, we both need to get away. Let the sun and the sand and the sea bring us back to life. Hey, remember that little shack down on the beach we used to rent every year for a week? Oh, I miss that place about right now. I can't even stand it. And the karaoke bar right down the way where we'd walk down and hang out every day. And you'd get up, heck, you'd sing like you were Miranda Lambert. We needed tropical decompression. Well, baby, you know how bad we need it. And margaritas and sangrias and tequilas would be a blessing. And dancing in the sand with a drink in our hand could surely cure this depression. So let's change our expression. Try a little transgression. Let's take the tropical decompression. Hey, I'll book the trip and you'll pack our bags. You dig out our passports and I'll call a cab. And we'll hit the bar at the airport. Oh baby, we're gonna get this party started. And we'll barely make the island before our smiles are back. And we're happy once more, and we can forget about all this workplace obsession. We need this tropical decompression. Oh baby, you know how bad we need it. And margaritas and sangrias and tequilas would be a blessing. And dancing in the sand with a drink in our hand could surely cure this depression. So let's change our expression. Try a little transgression. Let's take the tropical decompression. Your shorts and flip-flops and tees, and your tie wraps and shades, and a light salty breeze, and well heck, we can get our smoke on fins when we get there. A cold beer, roll a fatty in the sand. While you lie in a hammock and you work on your tan. Oh honey, I just can't wait till we get there. And we start our tropical decompression.
Right on. Good job, man. I like that. That was pretty cool. Well, you know, we're into it, so you got one more you want to do?
Yeah. I told you before, you asked me which was my favorite song.
Right.
The Ghost.
The Ghost, right.
And,
I like that song.
Yeah.
I like it mostly because I know the meaning behind it and where it comes from, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it cool.
Yeah, and you were actually like there when I first wrote it.
Right.
I mean, not
there personally, but you know, you kept sending me. Yeah, you kept sending me stuff, and I was, you know, telling you what I liked, and you know, I thought it was really cool. It's a great song because you know anybody who's had a relationship can relate to that song.
Yeah, and you know,
good, bad, or indifferent.
There's
a relationship.
Lots and lots of people, you know, tell me, you know, man, I've got a ghost back here too.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
So
Lord knows I've got a couple. I'm ashamed to admit.
Yeah, and you know, worst case scenario, you know, it just reminds you that you do have that ghost, you know, and that you're not the only one that has that.
Right, you're exactly right. That's the point. In my opinion, that is the message right there. You're not the only one.
And if you want to try to put that back together, all you got to do is write a song that brings her back.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. It's easy as pop.
Right? That's funny. Well, okay, right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bubba Ramby, original song called The Ghost, right here on Texas Country Live, bringing it to you. Tear it up, Bubba.
I can put the past behind me, do my best to move on. I can change everything around me, pretend your memory is gone. And I can try to love another if someone comes along. And I can put on this brilliant show if it fools everyone. But I can't run from the ghost that haunts me most of the time, the one that consumes me and tears me up inside. No, I just can't fight the memories of the one I left behind. No, I just can't fight the ghost that hides in the back of my mind. I can be on my best behavior. I can be a gentleman to all. And I can try to hide most all my feelings and be a best friend when people call. And I can always be the person that folks want me to be. But I just can't be the man I want if I don't have her here with me. No, I can't run from the ghost that haunts me most of the time. That laugh, that smile, that gentle touch, or the feel of her hand in mine. No, I just can't fight the memories of the one I left behind. No, I just can't fight the ghost that hides in the back of my mind. So why does she still haunt me? Oh, why she everywhere I go? And why she in my heart? Now why she in my dreams? This one I'm calling a ghost. And why can't I just find a way that I could leave her memory behind? And why can't I escape the ghost that hides in the back of my mind? Even trying to let go of the ghost in the back of my mind.
Heck yeah, man. I love that song, dude. I hope I didn't mess you up too bad.
No.
I dig it, man. I'm going to learn to play that sucker one of these days. Well, you know, we're getting kind of close here to the end, but we got a few more questions I need to ask you.
All right.
Let me see here.
You've got questions, we've got answers.
All right. Well, let me think. We talked about your biggest influence already. Let me see here. Well, let me ask you this. Tell me something about yourself, okay, that most people don't know, that you would like for people to know.
People, you know, I don't know. I think maybe the only way I can answer that is my biggest attribute that I feel is compassion.
Compassion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very compassionate person.
Yeah.
You care about people.
I care deeply about people, and
sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that was the biggest reason that I was able to retire so early.
Right.
Was because in my practice, I cared so much about every
sure.
patient that, you know, we only get a certain amount of time to spend with each patient because there's more
right.
waiting.
Right.
But
the business end of it.
Yeah, but the girls would get so mad at me because they would come by the room and they'd be like, you know, and then they'd come by again and they'd be like, you know,
Right.
and doing like this on their watch.
Right,
you
right,
know?
right. Well, you know, I've known you for a good while, and I see that in you, you know, and that's why I agree. Your success in your practice is because you are a genuine person, and you genuinely care about people, and that's a rarity these days, you know.
Yeah.
People are so self-centered, and they feel entitled. We hear sense of entitlement as the new phrase, you know, catchphrase these days for the younger people, but, you know, it's just not, it's not a good thing. You know, what is good is caring about people, and, you know, truly being concerned about their well-being and about the way they live and about how they treat their family and people. And, you know, man, not a whole lot of people care about everybody else anymore. But I know that you do because I've known you for a long time, and I think that's really cool.
And, you know, when I talk to young doctors and student doctors especially, you know, and they're like, well, so you're retired, you're young, how'd you do all that? And I'm like, you just care about people.
Right.
You know, and
It's pretty
they're
simple.
like, how much money can you make, you know, a year?
Well,
if
you
you're
know.
worried about how much money you can make a year,
You're in the wrong business.
Skip the part about caring about people,
Right.
Because your first 10 years, it's going to seem like you're not making any money.
Well, you know, I know that when I first was injured, you know, when you called me the first time, you said, hey, man, you know, if you need any treatment, you know, come see me, and, you know, I won't charge you a penny, you know, because you knew I didn't have insurance at the time. And I was like, man, that was really cool. You know, I never went over there because, you know, my injury was beyond, I think.
Probably, yeah.
You know, and that's kind of the opinion I got from my doctor when I talked to him about it. You know, they told me I was never going to walk again, and I was just not prepared to hear that. And but, you know, I'm still walking. It's 13, 14 years later. You know, now it's not pretty. I'm not winning any races.
Yeah.
But, you know, man, I'm still out there kicking it, and I don't complain. I'm truly blessed. But, you know, I honestly, though, and I've never thanked you for that, but I really did appreciate that when you made that offer to me. And that was, golly, man, 14 years ago or whatever it was. And, I mean, who does that? Who gets a call from a chiropractor and says, hey, man, come over and I'll treat you for free? You know, hey, I had a chiropractor who was a sponsor of my kingfishing team. And they still charged me when I went over there. They got adjusted, you know, and they were terrible, as a matter of fact. But I'm not even going to
Bub
mention
called
them.
me the other day, and there was a old Huffman boy, you know, that
Right.
hurt his neck, and he couldn't turn his head, and
Oh, that's
he
right.
was
You told me
just
about that.
miserable.
Right,
yeah.
right.
He's like, how much is it going to cost him? I'm like, just bring him over here. Let's
Right,
fix
right.
him and get
You
him
know,
back
man,
home.
that's awesome, dude. You know, that's freaking awesome, man. Well, let me ask you this. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I hadn't asked you yet?
I
you
think
can think of?
you pretty much covered everything.
Right.
I was like a little worried there for a while what was coming next. But,
Right. Well, is there anything you want to ask me? Open book.
yeah, what was it like trying to work Nashville?
Well, you know, when I was in Nashville, man, I didn't know squat. I mean, you know, I went there kind of like on a vacation deal with my parents, some place we'd never been. And my dad had just purchased an RV and a new truck, and so he basically retired, and so we took off. Him, and my mom and me took off to Nashville. We stopped in Memphis or whatever it was and saw Graceland, and hooked it on in Nashville. On the first down there, I go down to the Wild Horse Saloon, and they had a contest going on. And I don't even remember how I found out about that, but somebody told me. I think it was somebody at the RV park told me that. And so I went, and they said, well, we need you to audition. And I said, when do I need to come back? Well, can you do it right now? I said, sure, I got my guitar right here. So, you know, I went back and played a little. Okay, you're good. You know, and so anyway, I go to this contest. You know, my mom, that was one of the few times in her entire life she'd ever been in a bar. You know, so she was real excited, you know, because she's a good Christian woman, and she just didn't go to bars, you know, and never was a drinker. But anyway, so we go in, and I do this contest, just like a singer contest. It wasn't like a songwriter contest. But I did do Harley riding, fiddle playing, beauty queen from Texas, a song that I wrote. It's a mouthful. And, you know, there was probably 20 people in the contest, and they got up and danced one time. And that was when I sang Harley riding, fiddle playing, beauty queen from Texas. And I thought that was really cool, you know. But that's when I met Dean Alexander. He was a guy that was there. He was a real young kid. He was like 18, 19 at the time. Dean had forgotten his guitar strap, and I let him borrow one that I had extra, and he was freaking out. He's like, man, wait, you know, it's dog eat dog in Nashville. I said, well, I'm not from Nashville. I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
And in Texas, we help our brothers out.
That's right.
Well, Dean and I became friends. I ended up moving in with him. That wasn't really the plan when I went, but it was an opportunity.
Yeah.
And he needed a roommate, and I needed a place to stay, and so I moved in with him. And I had some money put back from work, when I was working and making good money. And so, should I have spent my life savings in Nashville? Probably not, but I did, and that was worth every penny as far as I'm concerned. And I just learned a lot when I was in Nashville. I learned that I didn't know anything, and that everybody in Nashville could sing 10 times better than me and play guitar 20 times better than me.
Yeah.
But what I learned was about how hard it is, and the reality of the business. And Dean was so talented. He was from like Virginia or someplace like that. And he really sounded strange when he talked. He thought I had an accent. And I thought that was funny. But he was so talented. And we wrote many, many songs together. But, he really couldn't cook. And there was a bunch of the young songwriters that were there. They were starving to death. And I could cook. So, man, I cook a big old pot of chili mac or, whatever, just some kind of throw together. And those guys would come over and whatever money they had, man, they'd throw it in a hat to pay and come in there and eat. And they were starving to death, man. They'd come there every freaking day, So I was cooking, and I was like the daddy of them all. But I got to work with a whole bunch of different youngsters that were songwriters. They'd have a song that they were stuck on. And I just had this unique ability at the time, anyway, to, look at what they had written and come up with the next verse, that was in relation to what they'd already written down. And so it seemed to work out for a little while anyway, but it just wasn't, as much as I wanted to stay, I knew that, my chances of being successful were slim, unless I truly, truly went after the songwriting. But I just thought, and I felt like that I needed to learn a little bit more, because it just wasn't where I needed to be to live in Nashville and make a living at it. I wasn't there yet. And so I came back home, and that's when I really started writing all the songs that I have written that are, in my book, anyway, and for the most part, what everybody likes, all the songs that I've written after I came back from Nashville. There's like a couple songs that I wrote. Like the second song I ever wrote was a song called Only a Dream, and it's a sad song. And I still play that to this day. I mean, it's the second song I wrote, and I play it exactly the way I wrote it. And, to me, it's a great song. It's a heartbreaker, Yeah. And there's a lot of people, from a lot of my friends, that really like that song, But the songs that I think that are the best work that I've done so far are the ones that I wrote when I came back from Nashville. So I learned a lot when I was there. But it was a cool place, man. It was a great experience. I'm very fortunate to have had Dean Alexander is his name, and he's still there. He's still going after it. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's, he was like 19 at the time. Now he's like probably pushing 30, and, man, he's a unique style. I compare his style to Hank Williams III.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? It's not really, it's certainly not mainstream, but it's not really rockabilly, and it's not really punk or indie or what. It's like an indie country, I guess you could say. I'm not real sure what you would call it. But Dean kind of has a strange, well, I'd say strange, it's different way of doing things. When we were there, the songs that he wrote were freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, but
and some of the stuff that he had was freaking awesome.
Everybody's always wanting something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, the song that comes to mind that he wrote that I listened to is called Pretty Little Cemetery. So, it's a little different. It's way different. Yeah. But whatever. Beauty is the eye of the beholder. And when you're creative, you have no, guidelines to go by. You write and do what comes to your mind and to your heart.
Absolutely.
And whether it fits into the box or not, who cares? And I say this all the time. You know what? F the box. I'm not a box person. I'm way out of the box, man. The box is like in my rearview mirror or way out there on the horizon, man. I try to live my life way out of the box. So.
Yeah, and Hayden always says, "Right for you."
Right for you. What's important to you?
And if the song becomes marketable at some point,
right? Great.
But if not, it's a song that you wrote for you.
Right. Well, I always enjoyed having somebody give me like a task, a song. Okay, I had a guy tell me he wanted me to write a song about God, but it can't be a religious song,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I wrote a song about it, and I don't even remember what it was at this point. It's been so long ago. But he liked it, But he went in there to get Dean to write it, and he wouldn't use mine because he didn't like me because I was from Texas, and he was an asshole. Excuse me, but man, it is what right. It is what it is, But I thought the song was pretty good, but I was kind of irritated by his reaction and of not wanting to use it when Dean said, "Man, that's the one you need to use right there," And the guy was like, "You need to give me the time of day," and I haven't done it since. I couldn't even remember a word out of that song. But that's a long time ago, man. That's 14 years ago. But I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break. Okay, now listen. We have the final segment that we do. I have a new segment, and I call it "Let's Get Personal." It's really kind of a personal question, you know.
Okay.
And so you have a choice. You want to do Shoot It or Boot It, which is about adult beverages, or you want to do Let's Get Personal.
I'll do Let's Get Personal.
Right on. And you'll be the first
one.
one.
As long as it keeps it short as Shoot It or Boot It.
Right. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break, and we shall return. I'm Rod Binion, your host. Texas Country Live, our featured artist today, Lloyd Bubba Ramby from Huffman, Texas. Doctor of chiropractic, and a good friend of mine, and he's a great singer-songwriter. You guys heard what he has, and that was awesome, bud. And I appreciate you taking the time to come out. You're a good man. I certainly appreciate it. And thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, listen, before I take a break, Texas Country Live supports law enforcement. We love those guys in blue, okay? They risk their lives every day to take care of us. You know, when I hear this defund the police business on TV constantly, that's a joke to me. I know what this world would be like without our law enforcement. It would be insane, you know, and that's just not really an option. And those guys get out there every day, and they put up with so much crap with cameras everywhere. And I was a police officer once when I was a kid, and I know how difficult it is. There is no way I could be a cop today. I'm telling you right now, I would be in so much trouble because the first sovereign citizen that I encountered, I'd end up in jail because they're so disrespectful. And, you know, that's stupid. You get pulled over by a cop, and I got pulled over the other night by a Cleveland police officer. He was polite. He was to the point. He was professional. And I was guilty. When I pulled away from a red light, I crossed the white line on the right, just out of habit. I wasn't really even thinking about it. And so he pulled me over thinking I might have been drinking. But when he realized that I was not, and I wasn't impaired in any way, he gave me a verbal warning. Said, "Hey, watch what you're doing." Super nice guy, and I wish I'd have got his name. But, you know, man, that just, proves a point that a traffic stop doesn't have to be painful. You know, and even if you do get a ticket, trust me, there are a whole lot worse things in life than getting a daggone traffic ticket. And if you're guilty, you're guilty. But on the side of the road is at 2 o'clock in the morning is not the place to argue that. So, you know, I love cops, man. I was a cop, and I love law enforcement, guys and gals. And that thin blue line they talk about, hey, I'm on your side, guys, and I appreciate what you do. And Texas Country Live loves you, every daggone one of you. And so me, Bubba Ramby, we will be right back. And I thank y'all for joining us. We're going to come back with Let's Get Personal. We'll be right back. Thank y'all.
59 Hangout, 23736 US 59, Suite F in Porter, Texas. Y'all come see us. Pool tournaments, dart leagues, and cold beer. Check us out on Facebook. 59 Hangout. Come hang out with us. 281-704-7177. McCreary's Auto Repair, LLC. We work hard to earn your trust and loyalty. We know how important it is to find a Huffman car service you can rely on. So your satisfaction is our top priority each and every day. McCreary's Auto Repair, 3731 Trent Road, Huffman, Texas. McCreary's Auto Repair. Come feel the difference.
Hey, everybody. We are back. I'm Rod Binion, your host, Texas Country Live. I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Bubba Ramby from Huffman, Texas, doctor of chiropractic and buddy of mine, and a fisherman, right?
Yep.
Loves to fish, what I understand. I've been threatening to go down there and go fishing with him, but okay, we're going to do this new segment, and this segment is called Let's Get Personal. And, you know, they are a little bit personal questions, but they're not, like, overly personal. You know, I'm not going to ask you, anything that's inappropriate. Maybe I will. You never know. Ha! But it's a new segment, so we're going to try it out.
I may not answer every question.
I'm sorry, if you don't want to answer, that's fine. But anyway, here we go. Let's get personal. What's your favorite fast food?
Whataburger.
Right on. What's your favorite color?
Navy.
Navy blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite animal? Dogs or cats?
Dog.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's your dream job?
The one I have.
Chiropractic?
Chiropractic.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite food?
Fajitas.
Fajitas. Hey, you can't go wrong with fajitas.
Yeah.
Who's your best friend?
Man, you know what? I've got so many. You know, Steve Cosby and I are
Cosby's a cool guy,
friends.
man.
Chase Hahn and I were really good friends. Jamie Ward from Huffman, he
Right,
and
right.
I are like best friends. I'm just one of those rare people that have like
A lot of friends.
10 best friends.
Right. I hear you.
You know?
I appreciate that.
I
Well,
mean-
you know, man, good friends are hard to come by. You know, I have a lot of acquaintances, but, as far as true, close friends, yeah. I mean, I have a few, but not overly abundant. You know, it's hard to, because, when you let somebody in, they're the ones who can tear you up.
Yeah, you know, my old business partner, Mike, he and I were like best friends, and another buddy of mine, Cody. But but it seems like over the years, now Cody and I have kind of like reconnected in the last
Right.
2 or 3 years and starting to spend more time together. But for the most part, there's probably 10 guys that
Right,
I
right.
talk to several times a week.
Sure,
you know?
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, you have siblings, right? Who's the funniest out of all of you?
Who's the what?
Funniest sibling?
That'd have to be me.
You?
Yeah, my
Right.
older brother really.
Okay, let's see here. What's your favorite sport?
Oh, football.
Right on. And what's your biggest fear?
Tight spaces.
Tight spaces. You know, I'm with you on that, man. I'm claustrophobic as heck, man. I do not like being,
Tight spaces and heights too.
heights.
Get
Yeah.
me
A quick
too.
story. Lakewood Heights Pool. Remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a culvert that went from up by the pool where the opening was, but it went down and it came out in the middle of that big culvert that crosses the road underneath the road right there.
Right.
And so me and Mikey Hathaway and I think Greg Barnes and probably Philip King or my buddies, when we were kids, were down there, and they're all little guys, and they go through this daggum culvert to come out in that big culvert, right? Well, I go down there. Well, the further you got closer to the big part, the more it filled up with sand. So I get down there to the end of it, and I got stuck.
Oh,
And I was in there for a long time, man, and it scared. I was
They have
petrified,
to call
man.
the fire department.
Well, I ended up, kind of backing out. I was able to get free and back out because I couldn't go through it, man. And oh my God, it was terrible. And ever since then, man, I do not do tight spaces at all. Okay, what's your favorite movie?
Wait, hold on. I can even see a movie or something, where somebody's
Get stuck like
something
it.
real tight, and I'm like, oh, I got to turn it off.
Right, right. Devil movies do that to me, man. I don't do devil. Yeah, I have no room in my heart for the devil at all. Even if it's funny, I don't do the devil. But okay, so what did I say? Your favorite movie already?
Favorite movie? Oh,
Yeah.
Lordy. Man, I'm gonna pass on that. 'Cause
Okay,
I just
all right.
love
What about your
everything.
favorite TV show?
I don't know. I love Big Bang Theory. I hate it
Do
for
you?
it to go off. Yeah.
Man, I like that show too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I mean, now I guess Yellowstone.
Yellowstone's pretty cool. Yeah, I love that show.
Good show.
Okay, well, do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you? Right on. Right on. Okay, last one. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Come on now, be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
Oh, come on, man. You can't pass on that. We want to know. Your fans want to know, buddy. Come on.
All right, let me think of a different one.
I don't want a different one. I want the craziest one.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna take the floor.
All right, you can take the tip. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Bubba, and we're good, man. And thank you so much for taking the time to come out.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
I
it. And you know what,
enjoyed
dude?
every
Hey,
minute.
your songwriting has come a long way.
Before we go, I got to ask, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but you mentioned that song that you played in Nashville.
Oh, the Harley riding fiddle playing beauty
Yeah.
queen?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about? Oh, you want me to
I
play
want
it?
to hear it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
If
man.
you don't mind.
I'm sure I'll mess it up. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see here. I remember with that gum words. Let's see. Well, I went for a drive last weekend. Back road down south of San Antonio. Yeah, and both my rear tires started leaking. Yeah, left me stranded out here all alone. All at once, I heard a rumbling sound coming from the road ahead of me. To that South Texas sun or a Harley Davidson with an outlaw biker headed right at me. And I started to run, my truck to get my gun. I heard all about them biker types. Imagine my surprise when she looked into my eyes. Blew away that 60s outlaw hype. She's a Harley riding, fiddle playing beauty queen from Texas. She's the prettiest girl I ever seen. Sometimes you find love like you expected. If you open up your heart and let it be.
There you go.
She said climb on up, cause I'm running late. I play in the symphony downtown. I said, honey, I'm not in to classical violin. But I just go backstage and hang around. But the music I would hear was soothing to my ears, sweet as honey melon on a vine. My destiny was there, that blonde in second chair, and I gotta find a way to make her mine. She's a horny riding, fiddle playing, beauty queen from Texas. She's the prettiest girl ever seen. Sometimes you find love like that you expected. If you open up your heart, let it be. You gotta open up your heart and let it be. There you go, man.
Awesome.
Wow. I hadn't done that
Cool.
in a long time. Well, thank you, man. It was a fun song. And, you know, who did I write that about? Nobody, obviously. But, you know, let me tell you what the motivation was behind that song. I was so hot for that girl. What was her name? Marty Seifert, I think, of the Dixie Chicks.
Oh, okay.
The fiddle player.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to meet that girl. You know, man, I want to marry her, you know. And right up until Natalie Maines ran her mouth about Bush,
Yeah.
you know, I was, you know, that ended it for me, you know. But that's how I wrote that song. I was wanting to write a song that would get her attention, and that's where that came from, you know.
Oh. Well,
You know, I know I'm ridiculous, but that's who I am. Okay, guys, hey, Texas Country Live, Mr. Bubba Ramby right here, singer-songwriter extraordinaire, and student of songwriting, and I appreciate you coming out, Bubba. You did a great job, bud.
oh, thank
And
you, brother.
the show might have been a little bit long, but that's okay, man. We'll figure it out. But we love y'all, every one of you, and we appreciate you. And Bubba will air a Tuesday night at 6 p.m. So as all our shows do. So y'all check it out, and we appreciate you, and thank you very much for tuning in. And I'm Rod Binion, Bubba Ramby, and we are out of here.
Adios.
Thank you very much.